Hello, Rooted. How are you all doing? Let's get loud. It's time for another episode of 50 Reasons Why Jesus Came to Die. I hope you all had a great bank holiday weekend and you had a good rest from your rest. And today we're going to be looking at to become for us the place where we meet God. That's today's episode. And today's passage will be John 2, verses 19 to 21. And it says, Jesus answered them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." The Jews then said, "It has taken 46 years to build this temple, and will you raise it up in 3 days?" But he was speaking about the temple of his body. So this is a well-known passage. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the words said in this passage and about what Jesus is talking about raising the temple up in 3 days. And it appears to everyone who's listening that they're thinking that Jesus is physically actually going to raise the temple up within 3 days, in 3 days again. But in fact, he is referring to his own body, and that's what it says at the end of the passage. To paraphrase it, it's basically saying, Jesus is basically saying, kill me, and I will become the global center, the global meeting place to where people can be with God. That's basically what he's saying here. He's drawing comparisons between himself and the Jewish temple because he came to take the place of the temple, the place where we can meet God. Before, different rituals and sacrifices were needed to be in the presence of God, to ask for forgiveness from God. But Jesus himself would be the final Passover lamb, and he'd also be the final temple. What remained after Jesus rose again would be infinitely better. In Matthew 12, verse 6, he refers to himself saying, "I tell you, something greater than the temple is here." He's talking about himself. He's saying, I'm the ultimate meeting place for God. In the past, God would rarely dwell with his people, actually in the temple. And if he did, we'd need an imperfect human mediator to go in, and he'd be the only one who allowed in to meet with God. But now, Jesus is our perfect mediator. The presence of God does not come and go with Jesus. He is God, and he's where we meet with God. As well as that, we only have one place to go to meet God. Isn't that just fantastic? That's all we need. We only have one place. Christianity has no geographical centre like Judaism or Islam, where the big there's a big meeting that you need to go to. All we have to do here is to look to Jesus. That's all we have to do. When he died and rose again, we can see that the old temple was replaced by Jesus and by a globally accessible Christ. We can go to him without moving a muscle. He is as close as faith. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all that's needed. Faith. Isn't that fantastic news? And I think something that I think a lot of people, including me, definitely take for granted. He's that close to us. He's that easily accessible, and yet a lot of us, including me, we don't take advantage of that. And it's something that I challenge myself with, and I think it's good everyone to challenge ourselves with, to take advantage and pray and actually and build our relationship with God more. I challenge all of you guys to do the same. Well, that has been today's episode of 50 Reasons Why Jesus Came to Die. Come back tomorrow for another one. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, a great evening. We will see you later.